Hey guys, it's AJ back. It's 11:13 for the record. March 6th, Thursday, 2025. So I just this is my new spot. I got moved to this side of the hotel at the Days Inn in Brooks. So previously I was in this double bed queen size room. It's a nice sizable room, 400 square feet, sleeps 5 people. So the idea was, when I got the room, my initial thought was, myself and my two brothers Ammar and Abdulhamid would join me, but I sent the application too soon. I wasn't finished, and it wasn't meant to be, so to speak. So anyways, I now, for the past couple of days, my nose is stuffed. It's too much dust and carpet, so I figured I'm gonna to change my spot. So I changed my spot, and now I'm back to my suite, the very suite that I came here a while back. I can check my transaction, but I think it was late January, early February, I would say. So anyways, and I came back because I like good service, and good service means repeat customers or repeat clients. And it's all about trust. Remember, you could not be in business if it wasn't for the the trust law, that I trust in the services that you are saying that you are going to provide. And there's a contract that I would come and for the night, for the day, and that's the kind of the mutual contract that we have in place, agreement. And anyways, I'm just looking because I see a bunch of dog feces. This is living proof. Like, why if you want to have a dog, great, have a dog, but at least clean after your dog. You just come after indigenous people looking just because we are treated with inhumane treatment, less than dogs, whereas you don't even pick up your own dog shit. Like, come on, what is this? Welcome to Canada. So yeah, continuing with my spiel, because at the end of the day, like, you have a natural right, as a person, to go and pursue life and happiness. You're causing no harm. You're going about, life motion and, minding your own business. The government and their stooges have no jurisdiction over you and to infringe on your, individual state sovereignty. So individual, sovereign state jurisdiction, of the body, which is your temple, so to speak, right? You have the temple, you have a triangle. So temple, triangle, that's your body, the foundation. Then you have the mind and the well. So, you could have healthy mind and healthy body, but no well. So I'm here under this tree, unless the OPP, or in this case, Brooks does not have OPP, they have RCMP, so, they would have to come basically and receive a call before somebody come at me and tells me that I'm not supposed to be here because I'm just minding my own business under this tree. And that's exactly, what normally happens with me. Alhamdulillah. So I'm coming with an allergy. So I don't really take it well. So I start sneezing, and I feel like I'm getting sick. But so I sit in the nature, and I get some sunshine, and to clean all the dust, so to speak. Smell some fresh air to wash out your lungs. And yeah, I'm drinking some tea. I got actually three cups, as you can see. There's 1, 2, 3. For the three, my body, mind, and the wealth, right? Me, myself, and myself. But anyways, that's a very interesting concept you have to understand of who you are. You're not just a body. You have the body, which the pseudoscientific community just treat as an object, right? So your arm hurts, they look at your arm, but they don't look at the root cause. They're only treating the symptom, and that's kind of where the crux of the matter is between medicine, true so to speak, medicine. And based on true science, or you can have medication, meds, right, which is based on nothing but pseudoscience. And the very same meds that they give you at the psychiatric ward, like they prescribe you lithium, fentanyl, you name it, all sort of hard drugs that also at the cell block, detention center, they would actually provide to you, no problem. They would come on a tray, and they have these kind of small containers, like, or cups, so to speak, cupcake style, and you got all sort of different meds, like I said, lithium, fentanyl, and You know, who knows what else they have? And, you know, courtesy of the public taxpayers, and there's no supervision whatsoever. So if you're hooked on the drugs and, you know, you get a seizure, you know, like my brother, Jace, you know, that's his name, Jace Earl, and he was with me. You know, I met him at the slammer, and, you know, like we were both waiting to be basically taken into the custody, you know, for 3 hours. I overheard them. You know, this is the Ottawa Carlton Detention Center. They have, you know, a capacity of 575, you know, according to Wikipedia. But then they were over the capacity, and the males, just the male inmates alone, were like over 620. You know, I overheard them speak, and then, you know, that's not to include the female inmates. And, you know, they had to keep us for 3-4 hours outside to, you know, arrange for our basically, you know, transfer from outside to the inside, because, you know, we're at large, we're criminals at large. The first time around, they put me in B2, I believe, I don't know what that is. Basically, you know, wing B2, max security they call it. They throw me in with the, you know, the crooks of the criminals, but again, there are people who are not criminals, and, you know, they were hoping that I would get into, you know, a rough beating because, you know, my perhaps attitude, or, you know, I'm gonna be, you know, arguing with. No, I'm a man. My inmate is a man. Yeah, so long I respect his jurisdiction, and, you know, I abide by the rule of the cell. You know, we're good. Like, you know, you walk into the dorm, like, then later on they got me, and, you know, I was put into Gen Pop, and then, you know, protected custody, because, you know, I kept talking about, you know, Section 92 of the BNA Act, and the fact, you know, 1867, and the fact that how the Ottawa Carlton district or detention center, I should say, OCDC, is liable for my safety and my well-being. So they cannot put me and, you know, subject me to this kind of bullshit, you know, treatment, hoping that I get roughed up. So they realize, oh shit, this guy knows too much. We are he's a liability for us. We don't want the heat. So now, you know, they arrange to release me. So I got released, but, you know, previous to the day of my release, you know, the Crown Prosecutor pulls this trick out of a rabbit hat that I was meant to be for trial. Okay, great. You're pushing that, you know, argument. The onus is on you. They know that, and, you know, I do not consent to such, you know, psychiatric assessment. Like, I'm innocent before the law. So what does it do that you now have to, you know, impose bullshit assessment? This is now the treachery ground. You know, the primary was the fact that, you know, they tried to make it sound like I'm a criminal at large. I have a similar allegation before the court in Quebec, which were being dropped. You know, August 16th, I went to the courthouse. I had my Superior Court of Justice, you know, scheduled for the 10th of, you know, September. Meanwhile, on the 24th of August, you know, I'm, you know, stopped, you know, arrested, detained without a just cause, then, you know, taken to the custody, you know, again, you know, asserting my natural rights and freedom, you know, insisting that, you know, I'll be incarcerated from the day I was sworn in, 25th of August, all the way to the 25th of September, 30 days, you know, not happening. So, you know, I got released on the 29th of August on my mother's surety, and before, you know what, I go back to the slammer on the 17th, because that was my first court appearance to receive otherwise allegation, you know, of to receive the allegation of 5 otherwise criminal charges, right? Okay, why? Where's my disclosure? They have yet to produce a disclosure, man. Like, we are now what? Like I said, we're March 6th. Come on, August 24th. That was like well over, you know, 7 months now. So, anyways, it's, you know, the truth has to prevail at the end of the day. No matter what you do to me, I'm not agreeing to your bogus, you know, deals. You know, you cannot strike deal with me. You know, especially you are in the wrong. You know, it's my way. You know, I'm in the charge because I understand my rules on the, you know, the rule of the law and the laws and, you know, responsibility as a law-abiding citizen. You understand? I've been here for 25 years, naturalized Canadian citizen. As I check, but perhaps I'm adopted, right? I'm adopted. That's what you look at it as. You know, my daughter is born here, so she is, you know, a proper, you know, Canadian child. You know, she is, you know, so to speak, the child of Canada court, born here, natural, whereas I was adopted. So yeah, I deserve the shitty treatment. And then you have the preferred child, Quebec, and then you have the mothership, Canada, and then, you know, you have the father. You know, that's your United States of America, Uncle Sam. So look, man, it's not difficult. You know, once you start, you know, looking at the world for what it is, you know, I did not wish upon myself to go through all this, you know, court motion, so to speak, but I've gone through it before with Quebec, and, you know, I was winning. They discharged all the allegation against me, both provincially and on the municipal level. So, you know, why can't we do the same thing in Ottawa? You have to chase me now, drive me out of my hometown, and make me a fugitive. You're coming after my house. Look, man, my house is worth for $50,000, just based on the same math that, you know, I'm applying, you know, for you know, a CAGR, you know, cumulative annual growth rate of 7.48, 7.5% over 15, 16 years, because I bought my house in 2007. County fees were $198. Suddenly last year, 2024, we received this letter as to, you know, $725. Do the math. So apply the same, you know, CAGR, you know, average rate on the you know, purchase price of $127,500. Well, you get $435. Okay. What's my debt? Maximum 200. I'm still net positive. So you owe me money. You owe me money, and you owe me a lot more than just money. So, I'll be seeking restitution just to basically, seek the damages and the injustice that I had to suffer and, basically, experience because of your criminal negligence, causing bodily harm and, emotional harm. And again, you're going to advance your mental bullshit. Listen, it's acting against you. It's actually against you. So you're lucky that I'm a resilient man. Somebody else would have probably gone, really crazy at this point and would not be able to, function after going to jails 1, 2, 3 times, only to be released the third time without any bail conditions because he's asserting his natural rights and freedom. And the justice of the peace, agreed with the accused. The first 2 times, the Crown Prosecutor is, complicit because they are trying to cook this deal with the duty council. And then they found their stooge judge on the 11th of December with a special, court bail hearing, which I have requested as, to my indigenous and visible minority, status, not because I'm incapacitated as you try to, pull this trick out of a rabbit hat, which again, the onus is on you, and you have not provided such, proof or evidence, and that's why you had to, basically search for me on the 18th of December. That was my set court date for me to confirm the receipt of my disclosure. Again, the December the 18th. I had received, a permission from the judge on the November the 18th, prior to that, a month prior to that. Court date on the 18th of December, just to basically confirm the receipt of the disclosure, which I have yet to receive. And then on the 18th, I'm questioned as to where I was. None of your business. I logged in via Zoom, and I expected disclosure to be provided before the court, and there's nothing. And suddenly, before you know it, I'm visiting my godmother and my godfather in Alfred Town. the very two people that attended my wedding with my ex-wife. Right, born Catholic, I was born Muslim. You had to go through a bishop court approval, so to speak, before we are, allowed and basically given the blessing for the Holy Union, of a born Christian Catholic versus the infidel. Right, I must be a Muslim terrorist, coming from Middle East. So, anyways, that's kind of the prejudice that I'm always facing. And for 4 years, her family, that's my in-laws, that is to be, they were just too much CNN, too much Fox News, we're like terrorists, we're this, we're that. At the end of the day, like, look, man, they're the one with prejudice against me. I did nothing but show them love and respect, and to their daughter as well. She wouldn't be with me for 14 years otherwise. Then she decided to leave because, I have a different point of views. I do not submit to no one, let alone the government. I only submit to the one creator of this universe, the Lord. And, my father had also infringed on my own jurisdiction. I'm not his child. I'm a grown adult. I no longer live with my dad, under my dad's roof, or his rules. It's my house, my rules. I'm a grown-ass man. So yeah, that's basically, the gist of it, so to speak. And, again, I'm here in Brooks, and I'm on business, I find it odd when I'm doing the very same thing in Ottawa. I get to be basically, assaulted by no other than the police. The cop shows up for no reason. Why? Okay, you're concerned about okay, it's a wellness check, safety check. Yeah, okay, thank you. You can fucking mind your own business. I don't need you to take me to the hospital. I do not consent. Now they take me to the French hospital. Out of all hospitals, the Montfort, a French, right? Because again, they're complicit. And then they cook this deal with, this Ukrainian, Zionist, so to speak, Dr. Pirik, he could not be other than Zionist, Ukrainian. I mean, what do you have against me? You have not spoken to me. You do not have my consent, and you're breaking the law yourself that I'm incapacitated. Why? I did not give you any consent in the first place. On the 18th of December, where I was unlawfully transferred by the OPP, right, from Alfred Town, Ontario, all the way to Montfort Hospital. The schmucks, they handcuff me. I'm on the wheelchair. Like, what's it to you people? I do not consent to any of the treatment. Leave me alone. So now, because, I'm agitated, they provoke me, etc., etc., and then they try to give me the fucking medication orally. I spit it. I don't fucking need your medication. I don't consent. You cannot force it on me. Suddenly they proceed into stripping me naked. Understand? They had to cut the string, stripping me naked. And, they shove 2 needles up my, ass. Why? Because, they have the right. Like, what what right? What? You have no right whatsoever. You are in breach of trust yourself. What is this? This is an assault. Aggravated assault, causing bodily harm. Like, what is it to you? You have no consent. Now you have to shove and jab me with unlawful injection, PRN injection to what? Sedate me? Like, I'm handcuffed, you fuck. There are 5 OPP. You just transferred me. I was under the tree from, under a tree, Alfred Town, all the way to Montfort Hospital. I did not hit or, make noises or bang in the cruiser. I was talking. Yes, I was talking because I was trying to school the sheep out of you. of what the laws and order and hierarchy are. A child law does not break a parent law, so fuck off. Fuck off with the prejudice. So for 3 weeks, they tried to cook this deal. So now they were supposed to be discharged on the, I believe. Anyways, in the paper, so the public inquiry, I believe it was the 3rd of January or something. So I was there on the December the 18th. They got me in for 72 hours initially, but then they had to get authorization from my father. It cannot be the government. It has to be somebody else, because they need to wash their hands from liability. When the lawsuit comes, they're gonna say, oh, his dad authorized. No, my dad did not authorize. My dad's in breach of trust. He did not know. You are trying to, come at my dad thinking that, I need to be in a fucking hospital because, I don't have a fucking any mental episode. You just fucking are, trying to take people for fools. And, I just expose your fuckery. I am free to do what I was doing. You have no reason to come at me. I'm in the tree. I'm just doing this. Look, under a tree. Except I was chanting hallelujah. Yeah, perhaps your, your secular, codes, civil law, that is, secular code does not allow you to acknowledge the, the creator. And, that's too bad. Well, that's why your fucking laws do not supersede, the Constitution. The Parliament could not exist if it wasn't for the Parliament. You could not have your Highway Traffic Act and bullshit traffic act that you're coming at me now, including the Mental Health Act. It is unlawful. This is my own sovereign individual's jurisdiction of, bodily autonomy, the mind and the will. That's it. So the body is the foundation. You have no jurisdiction over this body. My mind as well and my will. It's not a difficult concept. It's an inalienable natural rights for everybody. And the Constitution safeguard and protect those inalienable natural rights and freedom. Who the fuck are you? Like, you're just a government agency, an arm's length of the, stooge government of Canada. That's right. So I speak like this because, look, when you're selling the masses and the people from of colors and a different background and ethnicity, look, you fucked up. The Somalians were sold the same bullshit. Back in the 90s, you brought in the Somalis, and then the Afghanis, you brought those people, then you brought the Syrian, then you brought the Ukrainian. Like, you brought every single ethnicity in the name of your fucking tolerance and multiculturalism and bullshit. Now you have fucking India. Go to Brampton. You don't fucking see Canada. You see Indians. Nothing against the Indians, but there's a difference between you are actually Indian who are traveling and in pursuit of better life and happiness. Trying to stay here. Most Indians do not stay here. Those who stay, they bring their family with them because they're tired with the corruption. But most people, they are here on work permits and they leave. 2-3 years, they're gone. They are just helping their family in the process. They got the degree because that degree, the credential, you got a an American or Canadian degree. Oh, hallelujah! Like you have a chance to live because the local universities, even though they have one of the best institutions like the IIT, right? Madrasa of Institute of Technology, so this is very competitive. It's very competitive. But Indians are very known for their culture, rituals, and essentially they are very humble people, hardworking people, and that's the case for most Far East cultures. Be it Chinese, be it Indian, Middle Eastern, especially if you look at the Armenian, the Armenian is they're in Syria, Halab, Aleppo, the Syrians basically there's a lot of skilled worker Armenian that is mehane harafiyin, so these are skilled trade workers. Like I was talking about my brother from Sudan, that guy is a skilled construction worker, and he comes here, sold the Canadian dreams, and before you know it, he's in this slammer a year and a half. He's working from 6 to 7 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day, 7,500 on average a month, to for 1 year and a half before his ex-wife, so to speak, under Sharia law, common law, that she could only bring him to Canada with a sponsorship, but they needed that paper, they needed that common law. So the Sharia Sheikh, that they were married, so she could only sponsor him that way. So now he's sponsored. Now he's in Canada for a year and a half. He's busting his ass. He's working. He's independent free man. But the government doesn't like that. So now they throw the allegation against a free man of the land. Now he's before convicted, so etc. etc. Now they're trying to make an NCR, non-criminal responsible. So why is he going to jail in the first place? Why was he in jail? 3 years worth of quality of life is zero. Whereas if you were to do your own kind of thing on your own time, that's 10 out of 10. Right now my quality of life is 10 out of 10. And when you are in jail, it's 0 out of 10. Right? And then when you are on the mental, and then they put you, it's beyond, it's minus, because you're there against your will. It's minus. You do not want to be there. It's negative. So yes, negative 10. So. And that's kind of the thing where I am, when you seek restitution, you have to come with the facts and the claim has to be substantiated. And I'm an entrepreneur, so you have unlawfully confiscated my property, seized my property that at face value, I can sell that system for easily, $60,000. That's the equivalent of a solar system. That's my system that I have. Now you confiscate it. It's the face value is, I can easily sell for $60,000. Even if I sell for 45, that's discount. That's a discounted rate. So, and that's kind of my claim. So, I've been trying to bring my technology to basically the world to life, since I believe last, August time frame. At least I'll have to go back to my record. So now we are on March. You have prevented me from going about my life and business and proving to the world my grandiose ideas. Elon Musk, we have him going to planet Mars. Everybody's behind the man, rallying behind him. But here I am, the humble indigenous Palestinian born refugee in the city of Damascus. I just so happen to be an aerospace engineer, naturalized Canadian citizen for over 22 years now, since 2003. And I defer. I have my own grandiose ideas to basically generate electricity from a box. No gasoline, no fossil fuel, and so to speak, fossil fuel. It's not fossil fuel, it's liquid carbon. And, no solar panels, so to speak. It's custom solution. I don't have to tell you what it is. It's just a box. Like you use the phone, you don't know what's inside the phone. It's a black box, you just use it to go about and, your emails and communication and your leisure time. It's the same thing. It's a box. It generates electricity. It's a box. It has no input. It has outputs. That's it. It just gives you energy, electricity. Don't ask me how. That's my intellectual property. You have no reason to know how it works. So, let me finish. That's my claim. So now, if you assume, again, we have 15 million homes in Canada. 15 million homes, all right? 50 million homes. Now, 35% of those homes are mortgaged, continue to be mortgaged. So, roughly you have, 5 million are continue to be mortgaged, 1/3. So that's the circular economy. And then, you have, 60% of, the population or the houses are single homes, semi-detached. So 60%. So, and energy-wise, we have in Alberta, right, about 86 to 87 terawatt hour consumption, and roughly 20% of that is residential. So do the math, 20% times 86, that's going to be roughly 16 terawatt just for homes. Amazing. Well, I can sell 2 homes, and now 16 terawatt hour, that's demand, consumption, that's 20%, residential market. And, let's say I get 2%, so, not even the full 100%, 2%, right? That's market penetration average. But then again, if my product sells, the potential is the, total addressable market, which is, the 100%. So let's just say, my product is 2%. So let's just say, I close 1 deal a month. 13 deals for the first year, and then if you assume 20% year over year or month over month growth rate. Why do I say month over month 20%? Because that's my growth rate when I was on LinkedIn. I was posting, I went from 0 to 300,000 views roughly in less than 6 months, so 5 months roughly, or even if you assume 20 weeks, you go do the math, 300,000 views from 0 or from 1 to 300. So basically, in less than 20 weeks period, and that's kind of the metric I'm using. But again, I have my claim. So let's say, even so we said 16 terawatts. So even at 1%, that's 0.16 terawatts. So 160, 160 gigawatts, billion, that is. So and that's kind of where I look at the claim, and I have to substantiate that, and it's all based on established basically KPI or key performance indicator. And I'm an entrepreneur myself. I understand how to look at the technology and look at the potential. So if you look at the face value of my product, say 45,000 for this particular product, like I said, 60,000 easily. It's my price. Go get your own product. I'm selling it for 60 grand. But even at the discounted number of $45,000, you're still talking. There's 1.5 million homes in Alberta. So 1% of that is what? So that's roughly like 150,000, right? 150. So 1% is 150,000. And 1.5 million. I'm just trying to do it in my head again. 1.5 million. So 15,000. 15,000, not 150,000, 15,000. So that would be 1%. Okay, 15,000, even 10,000, even 10,000. Okay, multiply 10,000 by say 45,000, and there you go. Easily $500 million, easily. So and that's only for 2%. You know, assuming